Hello, welcome to Guns and Yellow Ribbons Live. I'm Fergus, I'm your host, and we have got lots to talk about on tonight's show. We do have we may have a rotating sort of panel of people. At the moment, there's four of us in the room. We have old man Trev, who's trying to do the sepia look right now. You've moved house again. You've moved more than us Irish people do. You know that.
I know, Fergus. Evening, mate. Evening, everybody. Yeah, I'm sorry about the lack of quality of the picture, but hopefully we'll be moved back into our proper home next week, so it'll improve. So you just have to put up with me by now. For now,
it's not the quality of the picture. It's not the quality of the picture we're after, Trev. It's the quality of the content, and it's always good with you.
Hopefully, I can keep it up then, Fergus. I'll just look at. I'm all grey, and I've got a grey beard, grey head, grey background. Never mind. I'll keep smiling.
Potsy, welcome again. How are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. I think you need sunglasses for me compared to Trev, wouldn't you? Trev looked like he had a power cut compared to me.
Yeah.
Bless him.
I was on your Potsy preview show on Sunday, and I had a procedure earlier that day, and I had excessive amounts of Ethanox, I think is the technical term. And with my traditional scotch that I pour just before I come on air, I think it sent me a bit doo-wally. But you introduced me to somebody. You introduced me to Matt Brewster in North Carolina. And Matt is a Pompey fan. And we thought, considering that we're playing Pompey in the FA Cup, it would be good if he came back on again, and also for me to do a public apology. So how are we doing, Matt?
How are we doing, gentlemen? How's it going?
Yeah, good. Did you enjoy the game?
I did. It was honestly, it wasn't exactly the liveliest of games, was it? But it was nice to play a Premier League team. Let's put it that way.
Yes. The lineups were. What did you make? What did you make of your lineup? First of all, was that the strongest lineup that you could have put out?
No. So we actually, after talking, on Sunday with you boys, we actually rested two of our best players. Curtis and Marquis were on the bench. They dropped our centre back and put in our right back into centre back. He just completely rotated a lot of the players. Like our centre mid, our captain didn't even play in centre mid. Naylor, he didn't play. He put in a Ben Close and a Loney player. So I mean, honestly, I was surprised to see it. We changed a lot of our players around.
Okay. Dan, sorry, I just timed it perfectly to take a sip of your drink. What did you make of our lineup? So we had 9 changes. Mari gets his start. Martinez in goal. What did you make of the overall lineup?
The lineup, the only shock for me was Socrates playing at right back. I have no idea what Ainsley Maitland-Niles has done wrong, but Mikel Arteta clearly sees that he's not either at his plans at the moment or that he has to do more to get into that starting 11. If I'm honest with you, the rest of the team we'd kind of predicted on the preview show that we did, but the rest of it was fine. It was just Ainsley Maitland-Niles for me. I can't see what he's done wrong. Socrates is not a right back. Mustafi is not a right back. And obviously Luiz and Mari, who started, are not right backs either. So it's very odd to see Saka playing at left back still, and we can't throw Maitland-Niles on at the left back area, and we can't put him at right back either. So for whatever reason, we've got one of the fittest lads on the bench, and he can play both right back or left back to give one of the other guys a rest. And for whatever reason, Arteta don't fancy him. So apart from that, Fergus, everything else was pretty much as I expected.
And Trev, you made your way down to that wayward seaport, and you went to Fenton Park.
I did, yeah.
How was it?
It was all right. Portsmouth's a bit of a dive, but the ground and the fans were brilliant. In fairness, the Portsmouth fans filled the ground, didn't stop singing all through the game, and but we gave as good as we got. There was a lot of Arsenal fans there. Yeah, and it was a very enjoyable evening. The game went exactly as I thought it'd go, actually, Fergus. Premiership side against the League One side. I thought we might have to weather a storm first 20 minutes, half an hour, which we did. And then we scored the goal. Great finish, I thought. And after that, I don't know what Matt would think. I didn't think we looked like losing, to be honest. I thought we controlled it. Well, the second goal early in the second half killed it for them, really, as a spectacle, quietened them down, and that was it. Just interested listening to what Dan says, I mean, firstly, Mari he's the first player we've had in a long time that looks like a proper centre half. He's a big lad, very calm on the ball. I know it was a League One side, and I don't want to be disrespectful to a League One side, but he was calm on the ball and he looked really good. Look, he played all right, did good. I'd be surprised if he's not involved in some way this weekend. Socrates at right back, we ain't got anything else. And the reason we ain't got anything else at the minute is because, Dan, I haven't seen the interview, mate. I don't know if any of you boys have seen it, but I was told that Arteta's done an interview and hinted that AMN, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, isn't working very hard in training or has got a bit of an attitude in training, and that might be the reason he's not picking him, because he's not happy with his training. I've not heard it myself, but it was hinted to me that might be the case.
Yeah, that is true from what I've seen on interviews, that he's not working hard enough in training. He's got the wrong attitude and all this sort of stuff. He does look very horizontal in terms of how laid back he is, but I don't see why we're trying to force Socrates at right back and we're playing Saka, who's just going to burn out anytime soon because we ain't got another left back. That for me is just a silly reason. There's all for me being ruthless and stuff like that, but when you're down to the bare bones and it could cause a player getting injured, I think that's a bit silly, really. I think you've got to give the lad a chance to prove himself, which I believe he's done well under Arteta. I don't think he's put a foot wrong at right back in a position that apparently he's not happy in. If his attitude's rubbish in training, then fair enough. That's fair enough from Arteta's point of view. I just look at it and think, if he's bad in training, why is he bringing him on with 3 minutes to go? If he's that bad, just leave him out of the squad and teach him a lesson that way. That's what I think.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Obviously, it was a game more or less of two halves, and like Pompey, I think you probably would, Matt, you'd admit you probably had the better of the first half, and you had some quick free kicks, and we'll talk about Guendouzi's option to try and do a quick free kick as well. But you had some quick set pieces that the referee allowed you to do. What did you make of the best part of your game, which is the best half hour, first half?
Yeah, I thought like Trev was saying as well, the first half, the first 15, 20 minutes, I thought we played well, mate. Honestly, I thought we kept up with you boys. We looked better. We looked like the team score. We had the free header where I don't know what the hell he was doing putting that wide, like free header. We had the other one where our left back crossed the ball in, and the keeper just got a hand to it to nick it off of another player's head who was running in and stuff like that. So it was unlucky. And then, something that's always been a big downfall of Pompey was we've never been good at set plays. We've never, ever been good at it. And like this season, I think most of our goals have come from set plays, like free kicks, corners and stuff like that, and quick throw-ins. And so there must be something going on in training there. They've practiced some things, but I mean, we did all right. We did all right for the first bit. I mean, let's face it, you were never saving that first goal. It was great volley, great shot. You don't mind that when that happens. But second half, like Trev was saying, it was as soon as you guys scored that second, it killed the game off. Both teams, yep. I don't think both teams kind of like laid back a little bit. Like we didn't want to get injured. You boys didn't really want to get injured, and I don't think it was really entertaining after that. I don't think there was much going on.
I tend to agree. You talk about injuries. We had that tackle on Torreira, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about, like, obviously Mike Dean was refereeing two teams very differently, in my opinion. Because I watched
standard.
I didn't actually have an issue with the free kick that Pompey took. I thought brilliant. They put the ball down, they're outside the D, and they tried to take a quick free kick and catch us on the break when we're not prepared. Perfect tactic. But when we try and repeat and do that the other end, three times Guendouzi put the ball down, and in the end he just slammed the ball down. Mike Dean, I'm the word I've written down here I don't use openly, but it'd be he's honestly, I just don't understand if a referee is going to allow the play to run smoothly and quickly and allow quick free kicks and stuff like that. Do it for both teams, not just Trev. What was the reaction in the stadium to that? Because we see it different on TV.
Yeah, the Arsenal fans were far from complimentary in regards to Mike Dean. They sang some very scathing songs about him, and I think in the circumstances it was deserved. It was the way I look at Mike Dean is it's the game. The game of football tends to, if he's refereeing and he's in that mood, the game of football tends to become all about Mike Dean, which is completely opposite to what it should be. A referee shouldn't be seen or noticed in a game, you know. And that's what he did. And he saw Guendouzi put that ball down dramatically, and he thought, "Oh, I've got an opportunity to look good here," and he slung a yellow card at him. You know, yeah, Mike Dean wasn't very good on Monday night. Wasn't very good at all. I thought he wasn't very good for either side, if I'm honest, from where I was. But I was stood in the stands. I'm not gonna put any blame on Portsmouth for that. By the way, Matt, I thought I disagreed with you slightly. I mean, we never looked like losing the game after the second goal. But
that's what I said.
I didn't know. No, I'm paying you a compliment here, mate. I didn't think you boys stopped trying. I thought Portsmouth played the full 90 minutes. They were looking to play, you know, but we shut you down well, you know, and we played like a Premiership side. But Portsmouth didn't give up all night. And yeah, Mike Dean was awful, worse than awful. And the game became the last half an hour, 25 minutes of the game became all about Mike Dean, and that you shouldn't have that at a football match. Just that don't happen, you know.
Dan, there was another incident that happened in that first half, which was the tackle on Torreira. Now, there's a lot of people saying, like Peter came along in the comments, says it's a bad tackle, took the player on the ball with intent, in my opinion, is what he says. There's a lot of people who say that it was an excellent tackle, that he took the ball, and it was unfortunate that he took the man. Thoughts?
I thought it was a bloody excellent tackle, personally. And I know that people are saying, oh, he's acting on purpose. I think he's gone in to hurt Torreira. He hasn't gone in to injure him, though. He's gone in to hurt him. And that's what I'd be doing. I played defensive midfield. I can't sit there and say to you that I didn't go into a tackle thinking, oh, I hope I don't hurt him. Of course I did. You go in hard, you don't get hurt. And that's what happens. And people are saying, oh, it was a horrendously bad tackle. He won the ball. Yeah, he caught him, and there's a follow through, whatever it be. I just think maybe I'm old school. Maybe you're not allowed to do that anymore in football, but I'm old school and I like to see tackles like that. And that's the sort of tackles that League One probably see every week, Matt will probably tell you. But in the Premier League, we're not allowed to touch them because we're all pansies.
There's a comment on here from Richard. Shocking tackle on Torreira. Typical lower league
player. There you go.
Let's just don't.
She looks like.
Let's hope Arsenal never get bloody relegated, eh? Because you guys would be on this every bloody week complaining.
Listen, man, I've got to agree with Matt here. I've got to agree with Matt. Let's man up a bit, yeah? I know Torreira's injured, it's nasty. The player, I don't believe, has gone in there to hack his legs away. He's gone in and he's won the ball, in my opinion. I've got to sit there and say, just because I'm an Arsenal fan, that, oh my God, it's horrendous and he needs to be sent off. It's just the way I see football differently.
Listen, the pair of you two, I'm going to bang your heads together if you carry on. Now, listen, right? Firstly, Matt, I don't want to disappoint you, son, but we're not going to get relegated, so we ain't got no concerns there. Yeah. Secondly, I've not seen the tackle back on the TV. I saw it live, and it was right in front of me. And my first thought was, Jesus, he's let him. I thought to myself, he's let Torreira know he's about here. He's not gone into to hurt him, but he's let Torreira know he's gone in hard here. But from where I was watching it quickly, I thought Torreira had ridden it, you know. And was doing the normal thing that Premier League players do, having 5 minutes on the floor rolling around, you know. I honestly thought Torreira had ridden it. I didn't realise how that he was, in fact, quite badly injured. The Portsmouth fans weren't very nice to him while he was on the floor, though, Matt, in fairness. You know?
Arsenal, always cheating.
Well, it was worse than that, Fergus. It was worse than that. But no, I didn't think it was a sending off offence. If he'd have got books, I'd have thought, yeah, it's about right. He's let him know he's in a game here. That's what he's done. He's gone in big on him.
There was somebody made a comment on Arsenal Fans Forum and said it makes Aubameyang's red card seem even more harsh because Aubameyang's red card was that against in the Palace game. He had no momentum or anything like that. Do you think, Trev?
Or
is that irrelevant?
I don't know. I don't think so, Fergus, because the Aubameyang tackle, from my recollection, and bearing in mind, you've reminded people I'm old, my memory's not the best, would look more like a stamp, didn't it? You know what I mean? Whether Aubameyang meant to stamp on him or not, it was that stamp in motion, wasn't it, with Aubameyang? Yeah. Whereas this wasn't. Yeah. This was a slide in, wasn't it? I don't know. Were the lads studs up when he went in on Torreira, or did he just go through him? I think
he just went through him, and it was more like a scissor sort of movement.
It was a scissor follow through that everyone said was out of order. The Aubameyang one's different because that could have been a leg breaker, malicious or not. I think, you know, looking at that, slowing it down, it's a red card. But then you look at the Lo Celso one the other day, and that was a red card as well, and nothing happened. So, you know, I don't want to get into the VAR stuff, but that for me, it was nice not to have VAR the other night, if I'm honest with you. And it was nice to go into that. You know, I don't mind tackles like that personally. Torreira's not apparently badly injured anyway, so it's all good.
That, in fairness, that was one of my other comment about it, that there was no VAR. So Mike Dean, as much as he's a whatever, he had to make a decision. He made a decision there and then, and he decided not to give a yellow card, not give a red card, and play on. What was it like watching football without VAR again?
Don't know, mate. It's every week for me.
Man, it was a great night, and the other game I enjoyed was the Liverpool game at Anfield. I know we lost and it was 5-5, but there was no VAR in that, and there was 10 goals. About 4 of them would have been ruled off if it would have been VAR. So yeah, I enjoyed it again. It's just free flowing. It's great. It gets, you know, there's no stoppaging, and it was fine, but fine by me. I'm not a fan of VAR though, so okay. Maybe I'm biased.
Socrates gets the first goal. At first, people were laughing and going, "Oh, Socrates!" But when you actually watch back that goal that he gets, the finish on it is really, really tidy. You know, it's most midfielder strikers would be happy with that finish. Trev, what did you make of it?
Of course, they'd be proud of that finish. I thought it was a cracking finish at the time, and then when I watched it back on the highlights, I thought, blimey, that was a really good finish. It was a cracking finish, and then I can't remember much more because I was too busy going crazy in the away end, kissing and hugging anyone that was near me, because we needed that goal. It's a great time to score in any game, and it just before half time. And it was perfect, absolutely perfect. It was a good finish, good goal, right good party afterwards, and. Yeah, and I'm not disappointed with Socrates playing. Well, he's not a right back, Socrates. He played right back away in Olympiacos, didn't he? And he got a bit shown up there, but he was all right. He was comfortable the other night. He was comfortable, and I wasn't unhappy with it.
So
we're only playing a small side, weren't we? You know what I mean? So it wasn't going to be difficult. So.
The goal came at a good time for us just before half time. It also come at a good time probably for Pompey, as who I said it first of all had the better of the first half in the main. It gave you time to maybe regroup, come back out in the start of the second half. That wasn't to be, was it, Matt?
No, unfortunately not, lads. I thought we would nick a goal. Like I said to you on Sunday, lads, I think the goal was to try and get an early goal, get on the score sheet and see whether we could nick a win or a draw out of this and get a replay at the Emirates. But it was just unfortunate. I just don't think we were good enough up front. We've been playing this ridiculous 4-2-3-1 formation, and it's been working well, but it's rotating players a lot. And the guy that's up front on his own, he's great. I love him. I really like Ellis Harrison. Great kid. But he can't do it all, you know. And there was a time when him and Harness, which is at the time was our right midfielder at the time, they switched positions quickly. And then Harness, all of a sudden, I believe it was in the second half, early on as well, picked up the ball and he was through from the halfway line. And you could tell it was a Premier League versus a League One player because he just didn't even have the legs to get anywhere near the goal because he was just out sprinted and tackled by, I think it was David Luiz or something like that. But, I mean, you know, we definitely did not deserve the win. I'm not going to sit there and say that, you know, Pompey should be walking away disappointed and stuff like that. I don't think we did offer much in front of goal. You know, well, I think we, did the traditional, we're playing a big team, we're going to definitely close them down, we're going to make sure we're there. You want to go back to the tackle, I thought it was an absolute brilliant tackle. Like I said to you guys, do not go into League One because that's what it looks like every week. And I thought I don't think he meant to hurt the player at all. One of the kids that was playing for us, number 33, Ben Close, you know, I can tell you right now, these players they're not malicious at all. I know them, you know, some of them personally, they're not coming out to do stuff like that. But yes, the Pompey fans were singing some unfortunate songs, but Trev, you should have carried on with hey, we did clap him off, and he walked around the whole stadium with Pompey fans clapping him off. At least give us some credit. And, we're not all scumbags, because I would have been jumping on his back because it looked like he was doing a dive. But, if he's really hurt and the stretcher comes on, you don't want to see that. Pompey fans don't want to see that either.
Yeah. In fairness, you're right, mate. Once he left that corner of that ground where he went down, there seemed to be a lot of young fans there.
There is, yeah.
And they weren't very complimentary, even when he was being stretchered off. But in fairness to the rest of as he went around the ground, he got a round of applause. Yeah, I accept that, and I apologise for not stating that, mate. You're right.
But, we were just, you could tell the difference in the two teams as well. There was nothing really there. I thought we closed you down, but just not good enough. It was just unfortunate. I feel like you guys were second half the much stronger team, and we just couldn't.
You could see the fitness levels and the quality.
Absolutely,
of the
I agree.
Come through.
I agree.
One
What you've also got to remember as well is that was our 47th game of the season so far.
Okay.
So,
do you think you'll come up this year, Matt?
Pardon?
Do you think you'll come up this year, mate?
I hope so. We've got a game in hand. We're third. I feel like we're at the FA Cup, we're at the League Cup. Great stuff. I know the League Cup's over, but we just need to focus now on the Cup final that we're in and the League Cup in the league now. And I see somebody's comment. We didn't have a shot on target. We didn't trouble you guys. Like I said, we were unlucky not to get that free header, and we were unlucky not to, the goalkeeper tap the ball away off of one of the players' heads. But that's all I really remember us really threatening Arsenal with. It wasn't exactly.
Dan, I'll come to you on the next one. 51 minutes in, Eddie Nketiah, he's looking more and more the real deal. What did you make of that goal and the finish on it?
Yeah, Eddie's a finisher, mate. That is exactly what he is. I think he's got the potential to be that little fox in the box for us. And I quite like the three strikers we've got, because Laka can, when he's playing well, hold the ball up well. Aubameyang's our goal machine, and Eddie Nketiah is our little fox in the box finisher. So I quite like the fact that we got those three strikers. My only problem with it is how many games is this guy going to play? It seems to me now that Arteta is giving him a chance. I would rather have seen him stay at a team lower, playing every week, because I think he's got the potential to grow even more so. But Arteta's given him the chance now, and he's taken it, to be fair to the lad. He scored now against Everton and against Pompey. I think that he has got that little bit of bite in him as well. He's quite strong, considering he's quite a little lad. I thought he was going to be quite lightweight, and it was a great finish. There's a couple of finishes there now which he's got in the front post on, and he's managed to get there first and tap the ball home. And that, to me, is a different type of striker that we haven't seen for a while, really. And the only kind of same style strikers we've seen in the last sort of 15 to 20 years have been Ian Wright and Nicholas Anelka. So if he can be half as good as those, I'll take that.
Bournemouth away, we've beaten them. Portsmouth away, we've beaten them. We've got Brighton and Southampton to come up. When's the last time in one season that we've actually played all four South Coast teams? Can you recall the last time? I can't.
No, I don't think
No,
so,
it'd
because
be a
Bournemouth
while.
weren't in the league, were they? So yeah, no, last time Portsmouth were in the league, Bournemouth weren't. So
And never
no,
was
because happened
Brighton.
before.
Neither was Brighton.
Yeah.
Neither of Brighton. It may have gone unnoticed, but we're now 11 games unbeaten in all competitions away from home since 2-0, the 2-0 loss against nail in Unai Emery's, or one of the final nail in Unai Emery's coffins. We've actually lost 5 at home in that same time. So, where away form was an issue, it seems our home form, we've had a lot of draws. I will say that we've had a lot of draws, but our away form has improved. We seem to be defensively a bit more cohesive and so on. Where we let ourselves down a little bit. Europa League, you were in the Europa League in 2009, weren't you, Matt?
Yep. Lost to Wolfsburg. That was it. That's what sealed the deal.
Okay, but so it's nothing unusual. You're used to European football then,
Yeah.
so you're welcome to join us and stay on. My venue to watch the game at the Emirates Stadium wasn't at the Emirates Stadium. I was in a sports bar on Matthew Street in Liverpool, and they had all the games on. I was on a work do, so I had to get rid of my ticket and watch it. But for large periods of the game, it was very flat. A full strength Arsenal 11 were frustrated and frustrating. They were feeble in front of goal with a first shot on target not arriving until the 77th minute. Captain Pierre Aubameyang missed a glaring chance at the last kick of the match as Arsenal crashed out in extra time against Olympiacos in the Europa League. Questions? Why was it so frustrating? Why did we make it so hard? Why were we so feeble? 77 minutes to get a first shot on target. Dan.
Got what we deserved, didn't we? We're not good enough for Europe, and now we're out of it. It's quite bad. I have a bad omen with Trev. Me and Trev were going to plan to go out to our next European game, and really, we shouldn't have been too confident that we were going to get through it. But I was quietly confident. I was quietly confident with the first leg going into that home fixture. Even when they scored, I thought it doesn't matter, we can still turn it on, and we just didn't the whole game. And I was done with the atmosphere. I was done with the weather. I was actually done with the home fans. I thought they were an absolute disgrace, some of them. There was no atmosphere. It was dead. It was flat. A couple of us were singing. Everyone's just looking at each other like, oh, do we have to be here on a Thursday night? And then what the fans did at the end, which I thought was disgraceful, was blame the wrong people and point at the wrong people. And I think Leno and Aubameyang have been two of our most consistent performers this season. And all of a sudden they're getting stick, but they're happy to give away a load of stick and let it go with Granit Xhaka, who's dicking around with it again, passed it back to Leno. Luiz and Socrates, the Chuckle brothers, looking at each other, letting the goal go in. David Luiz letting the first goal go in. But they're all okay. We'll let them get away with it. We'll have a go at Aubameyang for missing it at the end. I think, come on, man. He's just got us back in the game with an overhead kick, and everyone's going, how did he miss that? It's a disgrace. Actually, it's not a disgrace because the lad's allowed to do something wrong. He's kept us in it for the whole season. He's got us and saved us week in, week out, and people are having to go at Aubameyang saying it's his fault that we're out. It really isn't. Look at the team defending again. Socrates coming on and just I don't want these people in the team anymore. We've got Mesut Ozil wandering around the pitch, trying to cross a ball that he can't. We've got Bellerin, who was absolutely dreadful. These players are just not good enough to be in the shirt. And they're senior players. If you cleared out this team now and you kept Aubameyang, Leno, Saka, Martinelli, and Guendouzi, I'd be like, and the rest, you said to me the rest are going, I'd go, okay, that's fine. Let them go. I don't care.
Trev?
Honestly. There's only 5 in this team I care about. I'm done with these senior players, mate. Dreadful.
Trev,
he's on one a bit anyhow, man. He's on one a bit.
Man, this has been a while. I haven't had a chance to rant properly yet because I was hosting the last one I did. So I wanted to come on in tonight and rant. So thank you for inviting me on first.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem. You've had a lot to say on there, a lot of which I agree with and some I disagree with. What's your thoughts, Trev, on Leno and the criticism that he's come under, especially for that, that final distribution of the ball?
Well, firstly, I agree with the bit Dan said about Leno and Aubameyang. Don't be getting on their backs because they've carried us for a good few games this season with their saves and their goals. Leno should have hoofed that ball in the stand. We know that, and 999 times out of 1,000, Aubameyang buries that chance, but it wasn't to be. I honestly think the problem was we got a bit complacent. I got a bit complacent. Dan just stated it. I was planning my next trip to Europe. I was, and and we got a bit complacent and we got turned over. We didn't turn it on the night. I thought that I never thought I'd ever hear myself say this, but I thought we looked weaker in defence when Mustafi went off. I thought we missed him. I thought he ran himself into the ground in Greece, and he had a bloody good game again. But we just didn't turn up. We thought we were going to go out there and walk it and win it, and we didn't. The Greeks came with their great support to a big stadium, and they turned it on and they've nicked it. So, I don't want to dwell on it really because it depresses me greatly that I'm not having another European trip this year. And but no, don't blame Aubameyang and Leno. Yeah, they made mistakes. Let's say they made mistakes. Let's not hide the fact. Leno should have hoofed that ball in the stands, and Aubameyang should have buried it, but they didn't. Move on.
Ferg, just
Matt,
put
I
that
suppose-
Fergus, just put that Russ Morgan comment up because that is spot on.
Okay, I'll pop that on. And I'm also going to add in Corey, who's probably been having sushi or something somewhere. So, how we doing, Corey?
I'm good. Sorry for my tardiness. The traffic was horrendous.
You're looking smart though, mate.
Yeah,
That's always good.
Yeah, get straight in from work.
Gentlemen, I will leave you as well to carry on talking everything but Portsmouth.
Matt, thank you very much for your time. We really do appreciate your time. I know you're out there in the States, so it's a different time zone for you. And also you're joining us, a crowd of Arsenal fans crowing about beating you. So honestly, we really appreciate you tuning in. And if you fancy just watching a bit of Arsenal as your Premier League team, feel free to join Guns and Yellow Ribbons and follow us from afar.
Absolutely, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Well done. Good luck all the rest of the way and for the season, boys. All right.
Cheers, Matt.
Top
man, mate.
Bye,
Nice
guys.
talking
Bye.
to you, mate.
Cheers. Bye. Dan, you were going to talk about this comment that Ross put up. Sorry, Dan, I'll bring you up a second.
Dan's changed. He's changed colour and everything. Yeah, man. I was going to say Ross Morgan is spot on, mate, because Arteta should take some flack for this because he's not been playing. So he's been sticking with the same players. He's been sticking with Lacazette, sticking with Ozil, and Martinelli was the one sub I was looking forward to being brought on, and he brought him on way too late. What's his name come on before? Joe Willock come on for Bellerin. Didn't work. I'm just not a fan of the lad. I think he's a good player, Willock. I don't think he's got the potential to make it at Arsenal. That's just my opinion. I think he'll be another Fran Merida or another Connor Henderson or whatever they be, right? It's just my opinion. So Martinelli, however, is not going to be another Fran Merida. He is going to be potentially a first-team player for Arsenal. When he came on, we finally got some movement for the last 10, 15 minutes. I thought this is what we've needed for all of the game. And then it got to the stage where, they've obviously thrown away the game, but Martinelli's come on and not really been able to react to it. The only time I saw anything exciting happen was when Aubameyang went to the middle and Martinelli and Pepe were on either side. That, for me, is our best front three. Lacazette just needs to, Arteta needs to accept that, I think, now, and accept that Lacazette is a bench man and accept that Mesut Ozil is too and get rid of this number 10 role. That, for me, would be a great step forward for the remainder of games, because I hate to be pessimistic on these, but I'm trying, but I cannot stick to these players. This team have let me down for 4 years now under 4 different managers. They can't play. They're not good enough for Arsenal. Yeah, you've had Mustafi and Xhaka now 5 years or 4 years at the club under Arsene Wenger, Unai Emery, Freddie Ljungberg, and Mikel Arteta, and they're still messing up every single game, every season. Xhaka, what's he doing? Just boot the thing out. Yeah, Leno should have, but he should have beforehand. It should never have got to Leno. Why is he doing that? So I can't stick up for these players anymore, David Luiz, Socrates, Mustafi, Xhaka, everyone's telling me are brilliant now under Arteta. They're still making the same mistakes, man. They need to go. And it's not only them as well.
It's really interesting. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
No, go on. You go, and I'll come to Corey afterwards. We'll save our substitute.
It's really interesting what Dan says, right? Firstly, if I'm not blaming Leno and I'm not blaming Aubameyang, I'm not blaming Arteta either. They've made mistakes, but after the game against Olympiacos, I had my grumpy Trev head on, and I wrote a bit of an article, and the conclusion I come to is Dan's exactly right. Okay, if we're going to look at Arsenal, we are a mid-table side with mid-table players now, right? If we're honest, right, that's what we are. We've got to accept that, right? Whereas 10 years ago, I was talking about us in the same breath as Manchester United and Chelsea. Then 5 years ago, I'm talking about us in the same breath as Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea. And now I'm talking about us in the same breath as Wolves, Everton, Leicester. We've been slowly dropping over the years. So you've got to look, right? You can't blame the players, because if you're a player, any of us 4 here, if we're players and the Arsenal come in for us, we're going to sign, right? Because if the Arsenal come calling, you're going to sign, right? You can't blame the coaches, because the coaches don't choose who we buy now. They don't do that now, right? So, and you can't blame the owner, right? Because the owner has we spent money. Look at the amount of money we've got on the field. We've got 70 million players. We've got 30 odd million players. We've got a 50
Trev, you're
odd,
spot on,
250
mate.
odd million players, right?
You're spot
So
on,
where
mate.
does the blame lie, right? I'll tell you where the blame lies.
Recruitment, mate.
And I'm not. The blame lies with the people that are in our club at the moment choosing who we buy, right?
Exactly, mate.
They're all
recruitment.
They're all
shocking.
They're all to the forefront. They're all to the forefront when we bring in a big player, but when it all goes pear-shaped, you never see them, right? And do you know what? I've just said all that about all the players, the coaches, the recruit, and I've not named a name. You don't have to name a name, right? Because if you think about it, you know where the problem lies in our club. The players are not good enough. We know that. The results have proved it, right? Under 3 or 4 different coaches, as Dan's just said. So it's not the coaches, it's whoever recruits in the players is the problem, right? And we know who that is. Sorry, I've had a rant. That's me and you, Dan, had a rant tonight, mate.
It's good, Trev. We deserve it. We don't normally do this, mate. Me and you are two of the more positive ones normally, so it's different. Why be the same, mate?
Corey, welcome. Thank you for jumping in after Matt, who done a sterling job representing his club. We've more or less done a lot of the football that's passed over the last week. A question for you on the back of Aubameyang, and it's really a crappy question to chuck straight at you, but on the back of Aubameyang's miss, I must add, I'm standing in a bar with a crowd of work colleagues, most of which aren't interested in Arsenal or football or Europa League, and that goal goes in from what I see. I'm jumping around this bar going, "Oh, Aubameyang," and then somebody goes, he misses. He missed a penalty against Tottenham at Wembley to stop us getting 4th last season.
Don't start this.
The question to you, Corey, is Aubameyang a bottler? This isn't my question, it's the question.
No, he's not a bottler. He's a human being.
He's trying to wind me up, Corey, because he knows that we had.
I'm not.
But I got you though, Dan.
It was all written down here beforehand.
He's not a bottler. He's just a human being. He's strikers miss. Just check how much penalties Aguero has missed. Check how much chances Aguero has missed, and he's one of the top guys in the league. It happens. It just so happens that times where he has missed have been crucial. In terms of us, getting a loss or a draw or a win. But everything shouldn't be on his shoulders anyway. Do you know what I mean? He's one player in a team of 11. Other players have to take responsibility. So we shouldn't be in the positions that we're in. That it all comes down to him scoring a penalty or him having a shot. In the dying minutes.
Agreed.
So
since his debut for us in February 2018, Aubameyang has netted 61 goals in all competitions. Only Mo Salah with 64 goals has done better in the Premier League. So exactly what you say. It shouldn't be all on his shoulders, but it is all on his shoulders. I suppose the other question, because I haven't brought Dan in on this because I know he'd just rant again. The other question is, and you can go start it, Corey, and then the other guys can talk. The away goal rule in extra time, should it apply?
In extra time,
both teams have had 90 minutes. Arsenal got the away goal advantage because they scored in 90 minutes. Then we play at our ground for 90 minutes, and the last half hour is a tie break.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but it's just the rules are the rules. You get extra time, but it's why would you start complicating things by changing the rules just because there's an extended time?
I have had it in other competitions before where away goal rules haven't counted before. Am I correct in that? People correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure I've heard in competitions in the past, it might have been Champions League, it might have been I don't know, some an FA Cup or League Cup or something like that. It might have been the League Cup, where the away goal rule only counted in the main 90 minutes. As soon as you went into the extra time of the tie break, that there was no away goals.
I haven't heard that for Europe. It's definitely not Europe. It's always been like that for Europe, but maybe it's wrong in domestic cups. I don't know.
They used to be. Was it the old League Cup when it used to be 2 legs? in the early rounds. I think that the away goals didn't count double in that. I don't think they ever did. I'm sure someone will put me right. But while we're on Fergus, listen, look at the camera, mate. Right? Can we put the Tottenham thing to bed now? Right? I don't want to talk about it anymore. Right? Aubameyang missed a penalty. It was a crap penalty. The problem was it was against Tottenham. That's what made it worse, not the player. Right? I was stood behind that goal when he missed it. It was awful feeling. And you've reminded me again. It's over a year later, son. We need to finish with that now. You know, don't mention it anymore because it makes me cry.
It's just some of the fallout that, like what Dan was talking about earlier and what you guys were talking about earlier, the blame game and people, our fan base saying what to do. I get an awful lot of traffic come through between Guns and Yellow Ribbons and Arsenal Fans Forum. And there were some of the questions that came up that I thought they're good topics for us to talk about, you know.
What I will say, Fergus, quickly, is that I don't think Aubameyang's a bottler, but those chances that he misses is what separates him from the Thierry Henrys, you know, and Ian Wrights, where, you know, we remember those moments where, you know, it was going down to the wire and we did need something, and then those players popped up with something and saved the day. And I think that when Aubameyang when it's all said and done and he leaves Arsenal and we start thinking of our greatest strikers, he will be in the conversation, but it won't be a debate because, you know, those moments he didn't quite capitalize on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's finish on this because there's a couple of other topics I want to talk about. Olympiacos have won each of the last 2 away games against Arsenal, having lost their first 3 against the Gunners on the road. So they've always lost away, but beaten us here. Arsenal have lost consecutive home games in European competitions for the first time since February and September 2015 in the Champions League after losing the second of those games to, guess who? Olympiacos. And Arsenal have suffered their first defeat since December 2019 in the Premier League, which was the 2-1 Arteta's first home game against Chelsea, ending a 10-game unbeaten run. So that's some of the positives that we got to talk about. Yes, we're out of Europe. You know what? I don't think with the competition the way it is and the teams that are still in there, I don't think we'd as an easy route to the final, if we even could have got to the final, even though we had to cancel our rooms, Trev, which was sad. I don't think we would have gone all the way to Gdansk, if I'm honest. But 10-game unbeaten run, and that's a positive. The other positive that people were type of slagging off, both non-Arsenal fans and some Arsenal fans, we remain invincible, 49-49 undefeated. We were hoping to have Dan Mountney on tonight. And Dan, which Trevor's pointed out, has done some really good articles on it, which is on his Twitter feed, about the Invincibles and what it means to be invincible. Liverpool got smashed by Watford at the weekend. They were unlucky not to at least draw, if not lose, to West Ham midweek. You know, is the reaction by Arsenal fans OTT? Or is it right to celebrate such a historic achievement? It's all part of our history. Surely it's worth celebrating. Trevor, I know you wanted to talk about this.
Yeah. Well, do you know what, Fergus? The people that raise it the most ain't the Arsenal fans. It's the press and other fans. Ever since we did it, as soon as the last unbeaten team gets beaten,
late on a Sunday evening, singing about it.
Yeah, true. But the thing is, you see, that they wait until the last team gets beaten of the season, and then the press will bring it up again. Oh, that, you know, Liverpool have lost, but they're still better than Arsenal. They're still better than this. Well, I don't see. We say the Invincibles, but there's 2 feats, right? Firstly, the 49 games unbeaten, but within that record is the Premier League season unbeaten, right? Which for me is most important. It's amazing. And Liverpool now, the team of Liverpool from today, I'm not going to argue whether they're good or bad. They're a fantastic team, right? They're going to win the league, and they're going to win the league by a long, long way. But
are they?
They ain't going to be unbeaten, are they? You know,
no.
That's the point. That's why we celebrate as Arsenal fans, because that's what we've got to celebrate. We've never won the Champions League. We should have done, in my opinion. We should have had 2 good goes at it. But we have gone unbeaten in the league, and no one else has ever done that since Preston. And Preston only won 27 games in 18, whatever it was. We won 38. So, of course, Arsenal fans are going to go on about it because it's what a lot of teams ain't got. It's history. You know, it's our history, and we're proud of it. And I'll go on about it till the day I pop me clogs, me, and then I'm going to have it on my headstone. Trevor saw the unbeaten season, you know, because it is our history, and I don't care what. The only reason other teams moan or other fans moan and other fans pick on us and other fans say shut up is because they're jealous of we've done it and they haven't. You know. Oh, by the way, boys, while I'm at it, this coronavirus thing, I'm going to self-isolate. I want to go where no one's been for a few weeks. So I'm going to sit in the Tottenham trophy cabinet for a couple of weeks. No one's been in there for a while, have they? So
listen. You talk about that on Sunday when I was having this not so pleasant procedure. I was talking to the nurse, and I went afterwards, and I went, "Oh Jesus, I'm sweating." She went, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm sweating like a Tottenham fan in a trophy room."
Hey lads, just a little bit of trivia for you, right? Just I know we're not keen on trivia, but a little bit. The first game of the 49 undefeated, right? We beat Southampton at Arsenal 6-1, right? Who scored a hat-trick in that game?
Jermaine Pennant.
He did. Well, Potsy's nailed it. Potsy's nailed it, yeah. Pennant. And the second game of the unbeaten run, who scored a hat-trick in that game? It was the last 2 games of the 2002-2003 season, I think. The last game of that season, we beat Sunderland 4-0. Who scored a hat-trick in that game, Potsy?
I will go with someone random because it's going to be someone random.
Yeah,
I'll go with Jeremy Aliadier.
No, mate. It was our Freddie with the red hair.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah. But no, that's for me, boys. Don't ever stop celebrating our unbeaten run and our unbeaten season because people are jealous. That's all there is to it.
Question, Potsy. The question comes to you this time. If Arsenal were 7 points away from first place with 11 games to go, would you assume defeat or hope for success? I did put the poll on Guns and Yellow Ribbons Facebook and Twitter. Thoughts on it? And then over to you, Corey.
If we were 7 points away from winning the title with 11 games to go.
If we were 7 points away from first place with 11 games to go, could you still think we could achieve first place?
Not this Arsenal side, no.
We're 11 points away. We're 7 points away from fourth place right now with 11 games to go.
Yeah. A
game in hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this Arsenal side's up to it, so I'm going to say no. Our game in hands against City away, which I give ourselves no chance for. We've still got Liverpool at home. We've still got Wolves away. Still got Leicester at home. Still got Spurs away. I would say this Arsenal team are weak mentally, so no, I don't think we would.
Do you not think we're strengthening, Corey? Mentally?
Let's see how we do in our next game. Basically, I want to see how we bounce back after the Olympiacos game. The Portsmouth game was a decent result, but it was expected. It was our B side. Let's see how we bounce back in the league. If we put in a good performance, then my opinion can change, and I could start leaning more to the yes doable than not. But I have to see the reaction.
Now Liverpool haven't looked the side that they were prior to the winter break, international break, or whatever it was that we had recently. They were very shaky against definitely West Ham. They were shaky against West Ham. They've lost 3 in 4 games in all competitions. They've been beaten in the league by Watford. They've lost to Atletico in the Champions League. We have them, and we were hoping, everyone was talking about, we're going to stop their invincible season and everything else that we talked about. I just think, maybe could they bottle it? They only need 4 wins, and it's unlikely.
No chance, man.
No way. No
right,
way.
Listen. Firstly, I owe an apology because that game that Pennant scored hat-trick in, Perez scored an hat-trick in as well. They got 3 each in that game, and I forgot Perez. That's very naughty of me. Listen, if Liverpool don't win the league, right, I'll run round the Emirates from block D to block E naked, right? I'm telling you. Liverpool have won the league.
They better win the league. I tell you that. I'll be better. Right? They better win the league now.
We now need to do some crowdfunding.
No one wants to see that.
I'm going down the gym tomorrow, by the way. But no. Liverpool win the league. Come on, boys. We'll finish fourth.
We got West Ham away at the weekend. West Ham are going to be a little bit more buoyant. They had a good result against Southampton. They're hanging on for dear life. I think, yeah, somebody's put on that. Please don't. I don't know if that's to me saying I think we can win, or to Trevor not running around the stadium naked. I think I'm going for a 2-0 for Arsenal. I don't think West Ham have an awful lot to offer up front. Antonio is a handful, but he's quite slow and lethargic in a lot of what he does. Fabianski, if he chucks 3 balls in the back of the net again for us, just 2 will do me, because then I'll be right. Anybody think anything different about that game? Corey, you go first.
2. I think we'll concede. Yeah, they are going to be feeling good after their last result. So it's a trick. We spoke about this before, and I said that it's a tricky fixture. I expect us to win, but I'm not super confident. So, like I said, I'm looking for that reaction after the Olympiacos game. But yeah, I think anything could happen. I don't feel, I'm not super confident at all.
I'll see.
Yeah, I'm going my boy Corey. I'm going 2-1 to Arsenal. I think we are going to concede, but I think we'll just nick it. I think that it's going to be interesting to see the reaction, because this senior team are going to play again. Unfortunately, we're going to see the likes of Ozil and Lacazette, and this team is going to come back into it like it was against Olympiacos. And I'm not a fan of some of them players coming back in. So the rest of it for me at the moment is just a little bit of a pre-season, I'm afraid. I think it's just, let's just get this season over and done with. I'm fed up of it. And then let's see what happens in the summer, get rid of some of these useless players and start again. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I'm going to go for a nick at 2-1.
Trev?
I'm going to disagree with the boys slightly. I think we're going to win it comfortably. Fabianski, since he left us, always seems to play a blinder against us, but he'll be a bit nervous after the last couple of weeks. I think we're going to come back, play well. I think that Arteta will have been at them all week, reminding them of what a debacle the Olympiacos performance was, and I can see it being 3-0.
As I said, 2-0. As much as I understand where you're coming from, Potsy, and I had just thought 4th or 10th this season. I think with the likes of Tottenham, Chelsea, so many of the other teams just cocking stuff up. We're not that far away. We've got a game in hand against City, who are, if City lose against us, that's it. They have to win every game between now and the end of the season to even have a chance of winning the league. It's unlikely that Liverpool will cock it up, as we've said already. I think we can at least get a point up there. I think 4th stroke 5th, depending on whatever, is still on, because I think Tottenham.
I think the 11 games we've got to win 7 and draw 2, and I don't think we've got enough to do that. That's my opinion. I don't think United, Chelsea, Spurs, Wolves, and Sheffield United are all going to mess up. So I think we've got to look at all those 5 teams to say those 5 teams are going to be worse than us this season. And if you believe that those 5 teams are going to be worse than Arsenal, then you're more optimistic than me.
I think Sheffield are waning a little bit. Wolves, no, and that's my fear. But Chelsea, Tottenham, Man United, they're indifferent.
Remember, Harry Kane and Son ain't out for the season, Those people that think they are is talking rubbish. They'll both be back in a few weeks. Harry Kane's always out for the season, isn't he? Harry Kane's back in light training. He'll be back for the 26th of April when he plays us, and so will Son.
No. Listen, the final thing we're going to talk about is one of the pet hates that Trevor has, and I happen to agree with him. TV companies ruling when we play football. It is absolutely ridiculous. There was uproar 2-3 seasons ago when a game was rescheduled against Leicester with 3 weeks' notice. Okay, this game wasn't originally scheduled because it was meant to be played last weekend when City were in the League Cup final. They've now put the game in on Wednesday. 8 days notice for people to try and book time off work, arrange transport, arrange tickets, arrange hotels, trains, planes, automobiles, whatever it be, to get to City away. It's an absolute shambles, Trev.
It is an absolute shambles, Fergus. Only a slight defence. I don't know where else they could have fit the fixture in, to be honest. It's and us going out of Europe sort of gave them that little bit of a window of opportunity. But it's a midweek game at 7 days' notice. It's unacceptable, really, because all these lads, there's some cracking lads that travel all over the world to watch the Arsenal. They just can't do it. You can't get time off. Get up. They can't get back in the evening, and they've got to stay over. So it's not 1 day off work; it's 2 days off work. It is, as I've said. If you start me off, we'll be on here for 3 hours, Fergus, because you know my view on it, mate. It's disgraceful the way TV companies now run football. They absolutely control and run football. And they've bought the game.
Their scandalous decision. Ben travels all the way. We met Ben at Palace, and he comes all the way from Scotland. That
he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he flies to games. That boy, Ben Bennett, he flies to games. The lad's a superstar, he's got no chance. No chance.
It's not only that. The guys on the away scheme and the guys with lots of points who do all those are able to get tickets. And when they're fortunate enough or are unfortunate enough not to be able to go to a game, they will, through the network of people, sometimes get a ticket. If I needed a ticket, I could probably get it off somebody in our network of friends because they couldn't go because they've got a family birthday or something like that. But somebody was asking me, do I want a ticket? The ticket they can order today, they won't get till Monday or Tuesday. If they don't get it by Tuesday, I don't get the ticket. You can't go to this. You can't go to the game. So they've made it that tight that even if somebody wanted to get the ticket for somebody else to make sure that an Arsenal fan went there, they can't lay it off. It's just ridiculous, Dan.
I remember a podcast we did, and do you know what? It was one of the best podcasts that we've done on here, and it was the Room 101, the episode 101. Yep. So if the viewers have not seen that, go back and watch it because it was a great episode about a topic each that we wanted to put in Room 101 related to Arsenal. And of course, there was the Stan Kroenke that come up, recruitment come up. And Trevor, I remember you talking about it, mate. And I remember you saying it was TV and media and press and all that stuff that's completely ruined the game. This is another typical example of why this doesn't work and why it's so wrong. Because I've had mates that are diehard Arsenal fans going, I don't think I'm going to bother going. Because it's too tight. It's a long commitment for people. And people are just like, nah. And the way we're playing obviously has an effect on it as well. Nobody that I've spoken to is fairly 100% confident that we're going to take much out of the game. So it's a long way to go. Ridiculous, mate. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm 100% with Trevor on this. I think it's a joke.
Corey, do you want to
Dan, I'm still going like an idiot. I'm still going like an idiot. I'll be there because that's what I do.
It's because you're a legend, mate. That's why.
I wish.
Yeah, my take is that money talks, and I don't think anybody involved in football clubs at this level care about the fans. I think that's the harsh reality. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. You put, a home game brings in like 3 million. I don't know how much they make when it's on Sky or BT, but I think it's more. In terms of traveling away and stuff, I don't see them doing anything to accommodate fans. They just expect you to just work it out. If you turn up, you turn up. If you don't, you don't. The atmosphere and everything in the club. I remember when Arsene Wenger was there, and obviously a lot of the fans were making their voice heard. But what difference did it make? Like none. It's just because fans don't really have a voice anymore. When going to the matches. So, and that's just a harsh reality in terms of where we are in the Premier League with football at this level. It's all good at being the biggest league in the world and being the biggest brand, but that's all based on television and then being able to screen it abroad to other countries. But for the guys that actually go to the matches, you're bottom of the list of priorities.
Yeah, we're out of Europe, and we're out of Europe, and we're still playing midweek games now. Jesus, just give it a rest now. We just want to play on Saturday at 3:00 now that we're out of Europe, please. No more Thursday, Sunday stuff. We're still playing Mondays against Portsmouth, Mondays against Leeds, Bournemouth, and now we've got Wednesday against City in the league. Just Saturday,
we've got-
3:00, please.
And we've still got Monday against Wolves on Easter Monday coming up as well. Corey,
yeah.
well said, by the way, son. Well said, Corey. I totally agree with that. Yeah, we've still got, Easter Monday, a trip to Wolves. It's never ending. It's never ending. But
Boys, listen, I'll be at the West Ham game, 3:00 on Saturday. Potsy, Trev, we'll see you there. Usual place. Be there, be square. Corey, have you managed to get a ticket? Or are you not able to go this weekend?
Not able to go this weekend, but I'm going to see you guys soon. I promise.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Jerome. Jerome's, I think, is all sorted, and Jerome's going to meet up with us as well. So we'll probably try and get 5 minutes or so we can do a little bit on the Facebook page or something like that. So just what we think about what's going on in the game. I am with Dave Hurl. He's in the comments. I'm with Dave tomorrow night. I'm actually at Highbury House, and the Arsenal Supporters Forum have I'm going as a guest of David to a discussion about VAR with what's his name, Foy, Chris Foy, the ex-referee. He's going to be talking all things VAR and got some questions that I want to put to him and ask him. It's a question and answer session, everything else. So me and Dave are going to meet for a quick pint beforehand and then go and see. It should be interesting. It's about, I think it's 7:00 till 9:00. So hopefully that'll be something.
Fergus, I'm a member of the Arsenal Supporters Trust, and I can't make it tomorrow night. So if my vote's going, mate, you use it if they vote on anything.
Okay, mate. No worries. This is the Supporters Forum. So it's separate from the trust. But yeah. So listen, you have been watching Guns and Yellow Ribbons, an Arsenal podcast by Arsenal fans for Arsenal fans. Dan, Corey, Trev, and also Matt, who was on with us earlier, the Pompey fan. Thank you very, very much for joining in. This podcast would be very boring with just me standing here talking to the screen. You guys make it, and you guys in the chat as well. There's lots of you in there. So Scunny, just seen you pop up. Say hello to Scunny in there as well. So listen, tune in next week. We won't be on Wednesday, obviously, for obvious reasons, because the City game will be on. We'll either do something earlier or we'll do something probably Tuesday night. I think we might do something next week. So we'll see you then. Up the Arsenal.
Come on, you Gunners.